Hi, I'm Catharine Montgomery, and I want to start by just thanking Angel for giving me the opportunity to speak in the Everyday Woman series. I'm really glad to be here and to tell my story. My topic for today is taking it day by day. And I really had a crazy journey of a career and just want to share a piece of that to hopefully inspire other women who might be going through something similar or just to prepare you for what might come when you least expect it. Um, my career journey has been anything but predictable, but I believe that's why it's even more important to share this story. So we not only celebrate the ups, but also those downs or lows that seem like lows along the way, but actually have turned out to be pretty good highs. I knew before I left undergrad that I wanted to work in an intense, high impact, always on the grind environment. I thrived on unpredictability, not knowing what would happen next. And I also loved communication. So there's really nothing like working at a public relations agency, which is what I immediately did after graduating from undergrad. I would plan my day out and I would soon change. It would soon change because a client had a crisis come up or there was a new business opportunity, but I loved it and was excited for those changes each and every day. It was also the variety of the work that kept me committed. For a number of years, I worked essentially as a beekeeper. Yes, a beekeeper. I traveled the globe supporting honeybee keepers as they sought to protect honeybees and ensure they were able to pollinate all of our plants. I had the privilege of educating the public on the importance of honeybees and how we relied on them. And not every instance worked out the best. For example, although I loved honeybees, don't get me wrong. For example, I was in Florida once and I was driving around with a live hive of honeybees. So there are conferences we would go to and educate people on honeybees so they could look at them. And I was in a rental car and the bees got out. So I was like driving frantically in Florida with honeybees like flying all over, had to pull over. Fortunately, I did not die. Most of the bees lived. So it ended up okay. But that was kind of the crazy atmosphere, work atmosphere that I thrived on. So I was always excited for that. So getting back to those quote unquote far-fetched and unreachable experiences, what I've come to realize is that nothing is too far or too unreachable, but life's day-to-day circumstances can certainly make it seem that way. After thinking I wanted to take a break from public relations agencies, kind of try something new out, I went on to the cruise line industry. And again, my passion for traveling was fulfilled. I got to go all over the world, see amazing places, as well as the many crisis situations that happen in the cruise industry. As you can imagine, it can be very unpredictable when it comes to cruise lines. And there were numerous opportunities for those crises and for me to use my communications experience, even though I wasn't at an agency. But that experience didn't end well. Not many people know this story, but I was fired from that position. The woman who thrived on intense, unpredictable situations where I volunteered to work late because I valued the work I did was fired. I never in my life imagined that it would happen to me. I always saw my parents working hard, my brother working hard, and it was just, I don't know, I was disappointed in myself, disappointed, and never thought that I would really recover from it. So it was definitely a pivotal moment in my life. I could have let that job, define me and destroy my future, or I could take the time I needed to feel all the feels, and then figure out my next steps. And although I really did want to feel all the feels, I didn't really have time for that because I had to get a job and pay my rent. So I didn't have too much time, but from there, I decided I would start my own LLC. So I started Catharine Montgomery Communications. And it seemed like a logical next step because I knew what type of work I wanted to do. So wanted to get back into that public relations agency type of atmosphere. And now I knew that I wanted to take those skills and that passion and use it to help other people. So I had, worked at these agencies, worked at the large corporations, making tons of money for them. And, but now I wanted to give back to those who, can't really help themselves sometimes. And they need the communications, they need organizations to provide them with the means, whether it's, clean water or, to fight for the rights that they can't have in other places. So that's what I wanted to put my skills toward. Again, started my LLC, sought out the work. I was like, there has to be all this work that people need help with when it comes to communications. I was living in DC, seemed like the right place, did not get any business. So I had gotten fired. I tried to start my own business. My mom had her own business. Like, why couldn't I be successful? And so that just didn't work out that way. But I didn't give up. So again, taking it day by day, I started looking for other agencies that focused on social justice. And there actually are agencies that focus on that. Did not find one in DC. So moved to Boston to work at a startup. And little did I know that Boston was a strange place to go to if you're focused on social justice, which I did not know. The only time I had thought about moving to Boston was in high school when I wanted to go to Boston College. But other than that, I had not thought about it. But again, I'm adventurous and spontaneous, so I was up for it. So I moved to Boston, started working at a startup. There were about 15 people who worked there. We were working on social impact, social justice causes. It was really fantastic work. We were educating union workers on the Democratic candidates that were coming up in the 2020 election. We were helping economic empowerment applicants in Cambridge fight for cannabis equity. It was like on the ground work where you really were making a difference. And I really thought that what we were doing was making a difference. It gave me strength every day to, drive to a random place in Massachusetts. But the internal workings of the agency just were not good. And I found myself in a situation where I was, people were being racist toward me. I did not find any help or support from the agency's leadership. And I, thought that I needed to leave. And it just seemed like every day something was happening. It was taking it day by day was like, okay, you're going to love your jobs and you're going to get fired. Then you're not going to be able to be successful in your own LLC. Then you're going to go to a startup, try to help other people, and that's not going to work out either. But I was not going to go quietly. I knew that they were in the wrong. So I eventually was able to get what I deserved out of me departing from that agency. And then again, I was in a situation where I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next, what was going to be next in my life. And again, I knew that I loved agency work. I knew that I wanted to help other people work on social causes. And I happened to be on a Slack channel one day actually early October of 2022. And the Slack channel is called Ladies Get Paid. And someone posted for her colleague that a venture capital firm was looking to expand to the United States. And it just so happened that this venture capital firm only invested in public relations agencies. And that is very, very rare. I don't even know if there are any other companies out there like that. I thought this could be sketchy or it could be an opportunity. So I went to, the recruiter. I spoke with her. We were instant best friends. And it was actually pretty amazing. If we lived close to each other, we would definitely hang out all the time. But she introduced me to the two investors. One of them actually was like, "Oh, this is kind of like Shark Tank a little." And it's like, "Well, I'm already nervous. You don't have to make me more nervous." But I wrote a business plan, and we really hit it off. And I was able to share my vision for my agency that would help other people. It would focus on social change. It would focus on social justice. And now, after this happened so quickly, about 3 months, I'm the founder of Better Together. And that is what we do. We help individuals, we help organizations, we help them improve society from a U.S. perspective, from a global perspective. Whatever we do is based on helping communities and helping the people in those communities. So I officially launched my agency on January 25th of last month, so 2023. So we're just a couple weeks old. And our mission is really to walk our talk. So a lot of organizations, a lot of places I've worked in the past or worked with in the past, they were focused on a lot of talk. And we've seen that. We've seen, in 2020, when George Floyd was murdered, a lot of organizations said, "Oh, we're going to donate this, we're going to do that." But it was just a lot of talk so they could, get in the media and people could see, "Oh, we're doing the right thing." But we actually want to see authentic action. We want to drive long-lasting, impactful change, and use communications to blend our differences in backgrounds and perspectives and experiences. So I say all this, not for you to be sad and then happy for me, but to just say that our life story, it's not predictable. And, we will go through roller coasters, but our roller coasters and our story will all be different. We'll all go through different experiences. The thing is really embracing each of those experiences and learning from the lows so that they give you the strength and the appreciation for those highs. And so as I end with telling my story of taking it day by day, I want to leave with the words of the late, great activist John Lewis. "Take a long, hard look down the road you will have to travel once you have made a commitment to work for change. Know that this transformation will not happen right away. Change often takes time. It rarely happens all at once." Thank you.